On this episode of Development STL, we will check in with Otis Williams, Executive Director of St. Louis Development Corporation, on all the new and ongoing projects around the Gateway City. We will discuss the potential new sports franchise on the horizon and the explosion of hotels around the area. Get the hard hats on and the blueprints on the table. It's time for Development STL. Welcome to Development STL, where we discuss economic development in the St. Louis area. I'm your host, Nicole Jenkins. St. Louis has always been a leader in technology. Companies such as Emerson, Worldwide Technology, and Boeing have set the standard in technology, not only here, but in the Gateway City, but also around the globe. Once again, St. Louis has raised those standards by securing the construction of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency right here in St. Louis. Here to tell us about this is Otis Williams, the Executive Director of St. Louis Development Corporation. Hi, Mr. Williams. How are you today?
Great. It's great to be here. And we're very happy to be here to talk about the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the new project that's coming on board. And so, as you know, we were able to turn the land over to the federal government on December 13th. And at this point, the Corps of Engineers and the NGA are working to select a firm to design and build the facility. So it's, the fact that it is a $1.75 billion facility and the number of jobs, construction jobs that will come with it, and all of the permanent jobs that we will retain here in St. Louis is a great.
And how many permanent jobs will it retain?
Well, over 3,100 jobs that will be retained here in the city. And the great thing about it is that the average salary of those jobs is over $98,000. And so,
wow.
It's a great shot in the economy for the city. But one of the reasons why it's so great is the fact that we retain the earnings tax that comes with those jobs. And so it generates over $3 million in earnings tax here on an annual basis and over $8 million in the state withholding taxes. And so that's one of the keys to this whole project and staying in the area, just the workforce, the level of the workforce, and also the impact on our economy. As for the site itself, we do expect that they will name the new design build contractor sometime in the early springtime.
Okay.
And hopefully by the end of the year or at the beginning of next year, that they will be under construction.
And do you think those construction jobs will be pulling from St. Louis City residents?
Most definitely. I think each of the firms that are in the final three firms that are being evaluated are all focused on trying to hire from the local area. I'm sure there will be some that will be outside of the area, but I think most of the focus is trying to ensure that they make maximum advantage of the available work and talent that's here in the St. Louis region.
And for those that don't know where the National Geospatial Center is going to be placed, is that kind of by the dome, by the Edward Jones Dome?
No, actually it is at the corner of Jefferson and Cass Avenue.
Okay. Crown Candy? Somewhere?
In that general area, not too far away from Crown Candy, but near the St. Louis Fire Department headquarters building, right at Jefferson and Cass.
Okay, so wow. So this is a huge development and a feather in the cap of the city of St. Louis. And you told us a lot about this project, but also, can you tell us the potential impact of the NGA, and the impact that it will have on St. Louis? Since I know that people fought against this, but from you and what you're talking about it from your standpoint, it seems as if this is a good thing for our region, being that St. Louis is growing.
Well, it is, and in fact, I think it would be great for the neighborhood. Actually, we feel that it would be one of the vehicles for transforming the near north side. as we look to bring new housing in and around it. Obviously, we will have eliminated some of the blight that is in that area as well. But we want to continue to work with the citizens who live in that area, and so that's one of our focus, and we do that through an organization we call Project Connect. And so we have organized to facilitate working with the folks who live in the area, but also any organization or project that would like to locate in and around that area. So I think we are organized to be able to help to transform the area, but also to work with people who are there.
Okay, and what was involved with securing that space? Since I mean that's a large area, you know, where it's going to be built at.
Well, the key for us, obviously, we had to compete, and we were fortunate that we were in the final two locations being evaluated, and so.
What was the other one?
The other one's in Illinois.
I'm curious. So we won.
We won.
Missouri.
Obviously.
Wow.
Yeah, so initially there were, number of locations that they were evaluating. They narrowed it down to 6 initially, and then down finally to 2, and they made the selection for our location here. And so we're working now that once we've won that competition, now we're working to ensure that the facility is constructed.
Why do you think St. Louis was picked?
Well, we always look at it because of we look at it because we understand that the talent is here, and the NGA believed that the talent was here. It's proximity to all of the universities that are in the area, but it's also proximity to the airport. And also, it's not that far away from T-Rex and Cortex, which are our innovation centers here. And so the director said many times that it's the innovation and entrepreneurial spirit of the city that helped make that decision to locate here.
Okay, and you left one more thing out.
Okay.
Because St. Louis is just beautiful.
Okay, I agree.
We have our bad parts, just like everyone else, every other big city, but we're not the largest city and we're not the smallest city, but we're beautiful. It's beautiful here.
Yeah, it is beautiful, and there is great, people who locate here will always tell you that it's one of the great cities that they have lived in, and so many transplants really adore being here because of the cost of living and many of the cultural attractions that are available.
Okay. Well, it sounds as if the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency is a great fit for St. Louis, and we are truly fortunate to have them right here in St. Louis. I'm your host, Nicole Jenkins, and when we come back, we will continue our discussion with Otis Williams as we talk about a few new hotels that will be joining the St. Louis skyline, the potential addition of a couple new sports franchises, and the vacancy issue facing the St. Louis area. This is Development STL on STL TV, and we will be right back.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out?
clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to Development STL. I'm your host, Nicole Jenkins. Anybody who has driven through downtown St. Louis and practically anywhere in the city is keeping up, and they're aware of the number of new hotels going up around town. Otis, I know you know this, so can you tell us about those hotels that are going up around town?
I sure can, and we're very happy to get the new group of hotels in. It gives us a great mixture of new product to offer to visitors to coming to St. Louis. So many of you may be aware of the new Lowe's Hotel that will be coming up in Ballpark Village. It's currently under construction. Lowe's is a premium hotel. But we also have the new St. Louis Hotel, which is downtown at 705 Olive. A number of hotels. The last hotel, which is will be on Washington, is under construction now. It's a destination hotel.
Okay.
We have a number of boutique hotels that are, that are under construction, particularly along Forest Park Parkway and at Cortex. A new hotel, Fairfield Inn, which is a modern hotel as well, that it will be near Union Station. But what this all means is that there's a different mixture of hotels that provides that great product for the traveling business person. And it also, being a boutique, it brings in a whole mixture that is not currently available here in the city.
Okay, and so let's go back to one of those hotels. You said, I know prior we were talking about the Hotel St. Louis and the food.
Yeah, the food at Hotel St. Louis is just absolutely wonderful. I highly recommend lunch there. If you're in the city and you're looking for a great place to eat, the St. Louis Hotel is highly recommended.
Now, are all these located downtown?
No, they're mostly they're located along the Central Corridor. The Lowe's, the Last Hotel, and the St. Louis Hotel are products that are in the downtown area. Those are along Forest Park are in Midtown. Okay. And it's also a Hotel On God. I forgot, great food there as well. So at lunch and dinner, that is in Grand Center, a great new product offered by Steve Smith and the Lawrence Group.
Okay.
So we have a number of offerings. I get in trouble when I think about all of the new product that we have, and I haven't named them. But suffice to say, we're very happy. I know there's a new hotel that will be going in near the Chase Park Plaza.
Okay.
And the Loft Hotel, that is a product that's going in there.
Wow, so Loft and Lowe's, those are pretty big franchises.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty big for St. Louis.
Yeah, it is.
So we talked about the good. So let's talk about the what once was the bad and now it is the good, because St. Louis Development Corporation, you're turning this around. So as we all know, vacancies are a major issue in the city of St. Louis. There are thousands of vacant buildings that are dangerous from a structural standpoint in various locations with drug and criminal activity. With the Land Reutilization Authority, LRA, falling under the St. Louis Development umbrella, can you tell us what is being done about the vacancy issues in the city of St. Louis?
Sure. We're working with the Vacancy Collaborative here in the city, and so we have a number of partners and stakeholders who are also on board with us. But vacancy is the mayor's #1 priority, and so we have assembled a team and have added to our staff at St. Louis Development Corporation and LRA. We're working with a number, as I mentioned, a number of stakeholders, including the folks at SLACO and at Legal Services of Eastern Missouri, at RISE, a number of entities here in town who have chosen to work with us on this. Okay. But it's being met both from a public perspective from the mayor's office, but from the private and area with SLACO. And okay. So what we're all focused on is trying to improve on the vacancy issue here, which is to eliminate blight, but also to ensure that we have a plan to replenish those sites with something that is good, either through gardens or through new housing or through new businesses and that kind of thing. And so one of the things where we have a number of these vacancies is also understanding the demolition requirements and also how to save some of these properties.
Okay.
Essentially putting in materials to cover up windows and to try and cover the doors and ensure that we can keep these products in place until we get investors who will come in and then redevelop them. And so we're sort of mothballing some of the products, and the mothballing technique is something that we're exploring as well. And so as time goes along, there's more assets being focused on it, and this time we have assembled a lot of dollars to try and help with the demolition. And so at one point in time, we were only averaging about $600,000 a year on demolition, and I think now we're a little over $3 million. So we'll be able to take down some of the really bad properties, and we'll be able to save some of those that are just marginal that we can redevelop.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean that's good for the entire city. I mean to beautify it.
Yeah. So one of the things we have, we've instituted some key programs. We have motor owned, which means that we can sell.
I know about that.
Yeah, we can sell the adjacent vacant property to a property owner.
Yeah.
We recently advertised and had a huge reception from citizens about the $1 program.
Okay.
It provides an opportunity for an individual to buy a single-family house, and the requirement is really to occupy it within a certain time frame, but also to invest in it and live in it for at least 3 years.
Okay.
And so, but we hope that would be attractive to a number of citizens, and we're pushing that program. So come visit us if you're looking for a vacant property, for an opportunity to buy a property that's pretty cheap. You can come to LRA at 1520 Market Street on the second floor.
I think that is good for young adults and young families. It's really attracting. St. Louis is attracting that. So when we come back, we will discuss the possibilities of new professional sports coming to St. Louis. I'm excited. I am your host, Nicole Jenkins, and this is Development STL on STL TV, and we will be right back.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Welcome back to Development STL. I'm your host, Nicole Jenkins. St. Louis has always been known for its professional sports, the Cardinals, the Blues, and St. Louis University basketball, just to name a few. There is now potential of bringing a professional soccer program, MLS, Major League Soccer, that's right, to St. Louis. Otis, can you talk a bit about the plan and the new facility that will house the team?
Well, we're very fortunate that we have a family that is really investing in the city, and one of the things they're doing now is looking at the investment into a Major League Soccer franchise. And so what we're doing at the city is really just working with the new ownership group. And one of the interesting things about the new ownership group is that it's basically all female owners.
Wow.
And so working both with the Taylor family and with the Kavanaugh families. And so at this point, there's no commitment from the league to provide a franchise, but the ownership group is really working very hard to try and make that a reality, though. And so what we're looking at is trying to ensure that we can provide what is needed to make that happen, the land, to ensure that the location works well. And so just recently, there were several things that went through the Board of Aldermen that would assist in making a case to the league that St. Louis is ready to support a franchise like a Major League Soccer team. And so we're looking forward to it. So I think one of the keys here is that St. Louis is a soccer town. St. Louis is a major sports town, and I think whenever there is a product that is competitive in the community, it is well supported. And so as seen with the Cardinals and with the Blues, and even when the Rams were here, we hate to talk.
We love
it.
When
when the team was good, people flocked to the stadium.
Yeah.
And so we know that this will be a great franchise because of the history of the sport here in town.
Okay. So in addition to soccer, it's always been whispered that we could be getting a professional football team back in the form of XFL. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the city, we believe, has been awarded a franchise in the XFL, and that will start play next year. And so I believe the CVC is in discussions with the league to nail down the final details of a contract with them.
So it's a deal that we will get it?
Well, we never say...
never say never or never say yes?
we never say that it's final until it is actually done.
Okay.
And so at this point, the feedback that we're getting is that it's very positive and that this will occur. And so we look forward to it.
I mean, God, I wish that I was in your position, because I know this kind of like brightens you up to see all this. We went through a transition in St. Louis, but now look at St. Louis City, and you're kind of a contributor to that.
Well, there's a lot of great things that are happening in the city, and I think if you look throughout the Central Corridor, but you also look both north and south, you can find a lot of good things that are happening. And so, yes, I'm very happy to be a part of the resurgence of St. Louis.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to hear about everything that's going on our next show. And as you can see, economic and structural development around the city of St. Louis is booming, and the region continues to show its ability to invent and reinvent itself. I would like to thank Otis Williams, the Executive Director of St. Louis Development Corporation, for joining us today. And as always, catch this and other episodes of Development STL on our website at stltv.net. I am Nicole Jenkins, and see you next time on Development STL on STL TV. Have a great day.